Hello and welcome back to Tabs, and this is the first episode of Survival of the Fittest. I am your game show host, and today we'll be seeing which units live and which ones unfortunately don't. Now on one side, ready to blow up the battlefield, we have the dynamite throwers, and on the other side, we have a bunch of miners. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a bit interesting, but maybe they might be blown up, or those people might get pickaxes in their faces, but we'll just have to find out. So with the same cost ratio, now we have a bunch of bombs, which seem to do nothing because it's just not effective. We can see as the miners go in for the kill, and they do win. Now we're going to move him up a bracket and face him off against the cacti, and we should make this a fair fight, as fair as it can be, right? Maybe these cacti won't be as effective against those. And I mean, they're holding their bodies with their thorns. That's just great. So the miners are doing very quick work of them, and the miners win. Now moving them up to the gunslingers, where they can only afford 4 exactly. These gunslingers will make quick work of them, though, if they don't kill them in time. Yeah, and the gunslingers move on. Next, we have them face off against the lassos, and this is particularly interesting, because before this episode, I didn't know they came with a horse. And honestly, horse is just really relative. Like, horse, is it really a horse? Like, what does it look like? No, never mind about their eyes, the glitched eyes, and their nostrils, and their weird color. But we should talk about the lassos, because those lassos are, like, from another dimension. They're moving on their own. So this might be a bit useful to kill those gunslingers. So now they're off to the races. And just what I expected from the horses. Thank you. And wow, the lassos win with no problem. Now we have those strange horses and lassos go against the Deadeye. Had to check her name for there real quick. Okay, so this ensemble of women will hopefully snipe them down. Yeah, that's just what I expected. Oh, one got lassoed, like they were actually supposed to. You know, it's surprising how the name is lasso, but they don't really do much lassoing. It's more like 99% ramming with a horse and 1% lassoing. Now the Deadeyes will face against the quick draws, and they both have guns, right? But the quick draws seem to be at an advantage or disadvantage, sorry, because there's less of them, but they will fire quicker, because hopefully they will. They're named quick draws, they better draw quickly. And just like that, they are quickly drawing. Okay, I was worried there for a second because they all got sniped with a bolt in the face. Now we face the quick draws against a bunch of jousters, my personal favorite. However, I can't have much bias in this because I am the game show host after all. And these abomination of cavalry will head over and maybe maul them down. Like, from a size standpoint, I can see why the jouster would win, but I am saving $200, so maybe these quick draws will just absolutely berate them with bullets. Wow. You know, maybe horses and, you know, people on horses aren't very effective against guns, but maybe tanks will counter them because, well, it's just 6 guys against 2 modern, or not modern, but functional tanks. So they just absolutely got mauled by cannonballs. Is anyone still alive? And it's just what I expected. It's like a game of that, like, rolling mini game where those bunch of boulders roll down a hill. Next we have them face off against the Reapers. Now we're getting into some more dangerous zones and some more theoretical areas, because which souls do they reap? The souls of metal? I mean, so far it doesn't seem very convincing, except for the one that just traveled to the abyss. I mean, the Reapers did take their sweet time, so I didn't expect anything else. Now, a bunch of kingdoms have gathered their king together, and they're all twins, and they're all triplets and stuff. Very coincidental. But anyways, they will have to face off against a bunch of tanks. Now, wish them luck, because they'll definitely need it. This is just not doing anything. Impressive, honestly. For something that costs double the tank's amount of money, I'd expect this to happen. So maybe I'll give them a more fair fight. Now, what can beat a semi-army of just men with swords? A super boxer with glowy hands? glowy hands, and no armor, obviously, because why would you ever need that in a sword fight? I don't think that this super boxer has any chance of winning, right? Because realistically, what happened there? Never know. Maybe he pulls out his magic. He's gonna read some spells and just box them in the face. But no, the king still pulled through. Now, I'm sure most of you saw this coming, but what would the king do against their own villages? Like, they've all gathered around to stop this hierarchy of kings and queens and stuff, and they've all gathered around and brought in all the twins in the universe to fight them. And I don't think that they'll lose, because my system is like lagging. Just a moment. Oh my god. I just see some faces flashing. Okay. Maybe as they die down, like as the crowd thins out, my computer won't be as laggy and my FPS won't stop dropping. They're just like pulling on their pants right now, and maybe this is effective in humiliating them, but it's not very effective at murdering them. I can't imagine why. All the kings are still alive, and it's gonna stay that way, it seems. Oh my god. Friendly fire is not recommended in this game show. Unfortunately, a whole army didn't pull through, so we brought all the children and all the new dads, all the hip dads of the town to gather around and throw apples at the king. And I don't suppose this will actually work. Now, they're just gonna ram them in with their wheelbarrows, but I don't think this will actually do anything much. I'm not seeing many results. This guy is not doing very well, and we just have a bunch of decomposing bodies. Now, the king is our reigning champion with maybe around 4 wins, but what would he do against a bunch of robbers that are disrespecting their system, you know? Stealing as many banks as they can. As you can see, they've gathered and stolen. They must have broken into many, many banks to get this amount of vaults. And I don't suppose they have something to say about it? I mean, you could throw their money back at them, I suppose, and maybe create a barricade for them to not move in. Maybe they'll regret their decisions and turn back, or you can just stab them. So the kings have dealt with tanks. They've dealt with the whole village coming at them at once. And they've also dealt with bank robbers now. But how will they do against like outworldly creatures such as the banshee or like ghosts? Maybe they'll be too scared and turn around, or you can just I'm so confused what happened. This was not in the script. Now it's time to bring down one of my other favorite units, Zeus. And he does a really good job at just dealing with swarms such as this one. Oh, that is so satisfying. You know, I've never really used this guy because people say he's underrated. So we'll just find out. I mean, impressive so far. They can take like lightning bolts into the chest and send out ice. No, maybe the Greek gods weren't like told about this beforehand, and now it's getting out of hand. Okay, you know what? I don't even know what to say. Maybe the Jarls win. You know, you'd never expect the guy with bear skin on their head to actually win the battle, but now we've got them facing against a bunch of ships. This is like the world's biggest game of Battleship. Let's see if Jarls manage to hit the spot, or they can absolutely get smushed by those. This is actually a toss-up because I can't see anything at all. They've blurred my vision. Some Jarls are down, okay. But this guy, Jeremy, is going to break on through and... or not. Okay, this guy, Paul, is going to break on through, and Paul is just absolutely going to get mowed. Now for the last fight of the day, we have the boats, the reigning champions, facing against Chronomancers. You know, the one that costs a lot, and it's like an angel with lightning beams around it, like a bunch of orbs are like circulating its arms. So we have a bunch of those, and since they cost double, I expect them to win by at least twofold. I mean, they can just go ahead and blow them up. I'm completely fine with that. And they can just transform into butterflies. This is all very new on the battlefield, and with that, they absolutely just destroyed their opponents. I don't think a single one of them died. But they do get stuck very often. I mean, what do you expect with the crown? Oh, buddy, what are you doing back here? Do you want me to guide you? Actually, probably shouldn't guide you to the murderous monsters. Or angels, sorry. I think that's it for this episode of Survival of the Fittest. Let me know if you want more, and like and sub. I'll see you next time. See ya.